find something.
Awesome. Well, yeah, welcome back, Monero fam and Privacy fam, and I guess OP fam, all of the fams. I am Matt.
I'm Jill.
We are the founders of the Open Economy Initiative, and we are very excited to bring you another episode of our video series, Private Parts, helping you solve the privacy puzzle. And today we're going to be talking about something that I really love, which is Nextcloud. Basically, it's self-hosted cloud storage. So no Google Drive, no Microsoft OneDrive, no Apple iCloud or whatever all those celebrities were using when they got their nude photos hacked and shared with everyone. This is literally a Raspberry Pi 4 with it's the 8 gig version, 8 gigs of RAM. And then I've got a 1 terabyte solid state drive that is hooked up to it with just a little like $15-20 hard drive connector, USB to SATA connector. So yeah, it's pretty good system, fairly cheap, and now everything, all my files are hosted and basically in the Raspberry Pi in my basement. I do back everything up once a week. I encrypt it. I've got some keys that I set up for that, and then I encrypt the backup, and then I upload that encrypted backup to Backblaze. And so if I had something where there was a fire or the Raspberry Pi just exploded, I would just buy another Raspberry Pi, download that encrypted backup from Backblaze, and I'd be up and running. So I say that because I'm not going to cover that in today's tutorial. There's going to be some other things that we're also not going to cover. This is just a very simple Nextcloud installation from Snap, the Snap store on Ubuntu, and I'm putting it onto a Ubuntu 20.04 server. Which I've found is the easiest way to run this. So just a little context for you all there.
There's also a new update, the peer-to-peer backup for Nextcloud, which is going to be encrypted. That's pretty useful as well.
Yeah, I was really excited to see that. I just haven't had the time to mess around with it. But basically it's just like some peer-to-peer file sharing where instead of encrypting my backup and putting it into Backblaze, if Chill was running Nextcloud or somebody else was running Nextcloud, or I think even in multiple people, you can have them back it up for you. Obviously, you need to have this additional space to do that. So maybe I just get another $100 solid state drive and add that to the Pi and use that for my friend's backup and ask them to do the same. But yeah, really cool feature, and that was something that I think is awesome, because then it's more, you're relying on the people instead of like some third party. Not that I don't trust Backblaze, but I trust Chill more than a company in another country.
Yeah, it's a very nice and pleasant user experience. I was initially, this is Matt's baby, and when we made the big shift from cloud services to Nextcloud, I was a little bit worried because I thought, well, it's going to be on a personal server, and is it going to be slow to load? And I imagined some kind of ruggedy open source experience.
That's
and
fair.
It's actually really nice. It's really smooth. Like it doesn't feel open source at all.
Well, this is, yeah, no, you're right. You're totally right. And this is like enterprise level software. Like there are some very large companies who run Nextcloud, and I think they probably white label it or something like that. But yeah, like this is what they are using for their own internal, data storage or cloud storage or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it's very polished, definitely very polished. And yeah, I think with that, we should probably just get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let me share my screen here. There we go. Much better. You can probably just cut that part out. So yeah, so this is a pretty simple installation. Like I said, I bought a Raspberry Pi at Micro Center and Raspberry Pi 4 with 8 gigs of RAM, brought it home, set it up. And then I put Ubuntu on a solid state drive, and then I hooked that solid state drive up to, or hard drive up to the Pi. And now the Pi just boots off of the solid state drive. I don't even have the little micro SD card, or I don't use that. It just boots straight from the hard drive, and it goes right into Ubuntu 20.04 server. And that actually might be a good idea for another video, just how to like set up a Raspberry Pi with Ubuntu server, because that took me a little bit to figure out. Although I think it's easier now. It used to be a bit more difficult. You had to make some adjustments to the actual like ISO image or something. But anyway, we're going to be using the Snap Store to install this onto Ubuntu 20.04. The very first thing that we're going to do is make sure we have the Snap program installed. I already did sudo apt update a little bit earlier, so we don't have to sit here and wait for this thing to update itself. So now we will enter sudo apt install. We'll say yes. We don't care. Don't ask me. And snapd is what we're going to be putting in there. I think I've already got snapd on here. Yeah, yep, I do. So it's already in there, but if you're doing this for the first time, you'll definitely want to do that. And now we are ready to install Nextcloud. So we'll do sudo snap install Nextcloud. And yeah, that's it. That's the video. I'm just kidding. You were supposed to laugh. You're supposed to laugh, Jill.
I was kind of shocked. I'm like, wow.
We were like, oh, boy, that's easy. But yeah, you can see my blazing internet speed there. So yep, and then it should say, this is an older guide, so I don't think it's gonna say exactly what they have there under the output, like Nextcloud 18.04. Actually, let me bring this up a little bit so it's not just down here at the bottom. Okay, yep, and it's just doing its thing. It's gonna take a couple minutes. I mean, I guess if it takes a while, we could always just cut this part out, but should be done here fairly soon. And so yeah, that Nextcloud installation may take a few minutes to complete. Oh, boom, there we go, we're done. And then it'll tell you the version that's been installed. I believe this is the latest version, 22.2.0. But yeah, don't worry if you don't see this exact 18.04. That's the older version. This guide is not the most recent one. But yeah, and then we can verify the Nextcloud installation by typing sudo snap list Nextcloud. And yeah, we get the version number, revision, latest, stable, the publisher's Nextcloud. I guess, yeah, I sort of already knew that, but I guess that's good to know. And yeah, you're not gonna see this exact line here. You're gonna see something like this, depending on how soon you do this installation or how long ago it's been since this video came out. Okay, so now that we've done this, I'm gonna actually minimize my little putty window here, and we'll come to the browser, and what we're gonna do now is actually go to the IP address for our Nextcloud URL. So just, yeah, open a new tab in your browser. I looked up this IP address earlier. So yep, if you want to find this IP address, it's just going to be the IP address of whatever machine you're installing Nextcloud on. So if you're doing this on like a virtual, I'm sorry, if you're doing this on like a like an Amazon server or something like that, they'll give you the IP, so that'll be pretty easy. If you're doing it on your home network, then you may need to go into your router and just look up the list of all the devices that are connected to your router. And you should be able to see, like for me, the Raspberry Pi running Ubuntu just shows up as Ubuntu. So that was pretty easy to identify this IP address. Alternatively, if you just Google like or how do I tell what my IP address is for whatever operating system you're running, if you DuckDuckGo that, you will you'll get some commands on how to look that IP address up. But the easiest way that I found, if it's on your home network, is to just go into your router and just look at all of the different machines that are connected to your router, because it will list them out, and just find the one for the machine that you're installing Nextcloud on. So looking at our little guide here, and actually I'm gonna break this out. So we've got our guide here on the left, and then we'll have our actual Nextcloud here on the right. So set up Nextcloud, open a browser, navigate to the Nextcloud URL. Boom, that's what we did there. Enter the username, and let me zoom in on this so y'all can actually see it. Enter the username and the password for creating the admin account, and then click Finish Setup. So you get to choose what the username is here. We're just gonna do awesome Opie, and the password. So just generate
memory box.
Here we go. Everybody gets to see my password for this, but that's fine because I'm gonna remove this installation as soon as we're done here, because I already have Nextcloud running on a different machine. So yeah, there's my big long password that you guys get to see. And now if you want to, you can install the calendar, contacts, talk, mail, collaborative editing. I know a few folks like the calendar. I tried to use it. I didn't really like it. Also, the same thing with the contacts. I tried to use that. I didn't really like that. I primarily use Nextcloud just for like data storage and file cloud storage. But I do know there's quite a few people who enjoy the calendar. I don't know that there's very many people who like the contacts thing, but anyway, we got our username, password in there. All right, now we can click on Finish Setup. And we'll do that, and we'll keep scrolling down here. Yeah, you can also install the recommended apps, blah, blah, blah. That's what I just said. And you will now get to the home page of Nextcloud, and you can click the plus sign button and then upload files to begin uploading files like they're showing you here. And yeah, that's it. It's fairly simple to do it. Honestly, the setup of your server and a few other things probably take about the same amount of time as it does to install Nextcloud. Now, again, this is just a very simple snap installation of Nextcloud, which is kind of the easiest way to do it. There's you can install it kind of the manual way, and actually what I prefer is the Docker, is to put it in a Docker container, and then I have a bunch of different Docker containers on my Raspberry Pi, like I run Home Assistant and some other things, and then it's kind of all contained within a little contained within a container on your machine, so it's a little bit easier to manage and do things like that. That's kind of a step up in technical skill, though. So yeah, we want to make this easy for you, so that's why we're showing the easy way. So yeah, we're just waiting for the update to finish right now. A little more context. So like the Nextcloud that I use, or that Chill and I use for the business. I don't want to add that. The Nextcloud that Chill and I use for the business, that one I set it up so that we can access it from outside my home network, because this installation that we did right now, it's on a server that's inside my home network, right on the LAN. It does not talk to anything outside. So if I'm out getting some food and I want to look at a photo that I uploaded earlier in the day on my Nextcloud with this installation that I showed you here, you're not going to be able to do that. You would have to actually be at home and log into the Nextcloud, and then do that and be on the same network as the Nextcloud. However, for free, you can set up an SSL certificate, and then there's a way with your router, especially if you're using OpenWrt, they make it pretty easy to do some dynamic DNS, where your internet provider like Comcast or whatever gives you different IP addresses every now and then. It'll assign you like a random one. So if you get dynamic DNS, it actually will effectively give you a static IP. Oh, hey, there we go. Okay, so we're in. Awesome, OP. Yeah, this is kind of, these are all the things they just kind of give you right out of the gate. And up here at the top, you've got your dashboard, which is where I'm at right now. I've got my files. Obviously, there's not going to be any files in here other than the ones that that they give you. If I wanted to, I could come over here to settings and show hidden files, shows a few different things if I wanted to do that. Or I could come over here since I'm the admin, and we've got users. And if I want to add a user to this Nextcloud, I could make another login for somebody else, and they would not, I can set their privileges and whatnot. But yeah, you just click on new user. We can do chill, and then give her a password, give her an email, add her to a group if I want, and then add her. And now she can log into this Nextcloud and see whatever files I've shared. If we have some shared files or whatever, we can actually collaborate on text documents in real time. And she can upload things. I can see them. Works pretty much like Dropbox or Google Drive or whatever whatever one that you want there. But yeah, so what I was saying before was sorry, I'll stop the share there. Yeah, so that's it. That's Nextcloud. Very simple to set up, especially if you're doing the Snap installation and you've already got a machine to install it onto. And very, very low resources are required for this. Like I said, I'm running it on a Raspberry Pi. If you have just some old laptop or old desktop, even if it's only like a dual core processor, could probably still obviously install Ubuntu server. So you get rid of the operating system or whatever's on there, wipe everything, put Ubuntu server on there, and put Nextcloud on there, and it'll run fine for you. You don't need a super high-end machine to do this. So yeah, that's
any vegetable works.
Any potato. Any potato works, truly. Well, yeah, maybe not like a Nokia smartphone or the old Nokia bricks, but I don't know if the original Raspberry Pi, probably not, but anything within the last like 10 years is probably good. But yeah, that's Nextcloud. Like I said, we use it all the time, and I like the fact that all of my files and photos are on a hard drive in my basement versus on somebody else's server. Although technically they are on Backblaze's server, however, they're encrypted, and unless Backblaze has my keys that I use to encrypt them all, it's just a bunch of gobbledygook. So it's pretty secure that way. And what I was saying was, if you want to access this from the outside world, outside of your home network, you would need to set up dynamic DNS. You need to get an SSL certificate. You can do that all for free. That doesn't cost anything. It just takes maybe another, 20, 30 minutes to set all of that stuff up. And then in addition, you would want to probably set up some kind of backup system, whether that's just backing it up to another hard drive or another computer hard drive, or even just a separate hard drive on the same Raspberry Pi. That works, or doing the encrypted backup. So yeah, if you want to see any of those things like explained in a tutorial for those, let us know down in the comments below. I didn't want to get into that today because we'd have been here for like 2 hours probably if I did all of that stuff. I just wanted to do like a quick show people how easy it is to install this thing and get it running. And maybe just putting Ubuntu on a Raspberry Pi would be a good idea. So we got a lot of potential for new episodes here, Jill.
I know, right? Well, yeah. I mean, it's also better to keep all your data on your own server. So Because if you ever read the terms and conditions Google made, you basically sharing all your files with them, and they can share it with whoever. So you may
Yep.
as well post it online publicly.
Right. Right. Yeah. God forbid they ever, suffer a data breach or, I mean, they didn't even have to suffer a data breach. You could just buy somebody's info if you really wanted it that badly.
It's crazy though how many people keep things on Google Drive.
Oh yeah. I mean, even me, I keep more things. I don't exclusively use Nextcloud. I mean, there's just some things with work and clients or whoever they use Google Drive. So, we kind of have to use Google Drive. And even that, I'm like, man, there's so much sensitive stuff on here. And but their programs where Google Sheets is pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
It's pretty handy
Yeah.
for a lot of the stuff that I do, and so I do use it. I wish I had a better alternative, but most of the trade-offs I've seen for the alternatives uh end up costing me more time and frustrating the people who want to use Google Sheets and don't want to have to get LibreOffice or whatever alternative we're using. So it's not able to completely de-Google, but this is a pretty good. I feel like I'm making a pretty good effort at it. So
Yeah.
it is what it is, I suppose, right?
Well, enjoy Nextcloud then.
Oh yes, I will, and I will continue to do so. And yeah, everybody who's watching, I hope you enjoyed as well. This is a bit of a shorter one, but that was kind of the point. And yeah, we'll catch y'all next time.